government does have its institutions to rally behind them.
Good stuff from Hodar Abdel Hamid there, live overlooking Tahrir Square. Thank you for that. Now, these pro-democracy protests have so far lacked any single leader. However, one man has emerged as a hero for many. Wael Ghanim is a Google executive whose use of social networking sites inspired thousands to take to the streets. He was freed on Monday after being detained for 12 days. Imran Khan with his story.
January 27th, and a man is hauled away by what seemed to be security services. There's no way of confirming these pictures uploaded onto the internet, but they mark a moment Egypt's leaderless revolution found a hero. Wael Ghanim is a marketing manager for the internet search engine Google. His arrest sparked a campaign across the internet. Before his incarceration, he used social media sites to encourage and inform Egypt's pro-democracy protesters. For many, he was a digital icon. But then he simply disappeared into cyberspace. A prolific blogger, his writing just went offline. For 12 days, as Egypt roared with demonstrations, his friends, family and followers mounted an internet campaign with one simple message: "Where's Wael?" Then, on the 7th of February, he was released. Egyptian state TV, realizing his role and the huge internet campaign to get him released, made a big deal.
First of all, I send my condolences to all the people who were killed. It was a peaceful revolution. We didn't want to do any damage. Don't focus your cameras on me. I'm not a hero. The real heroes are the youth who are behind this revolution. By God's will, we're going to clean this country of this rubbish.
His words, once on the air, echoed through cyberspace. The news of his release welcomed by many. From Cairo, this man, using the microblogging site Twitter, said, "Welcome back, Wael." Even the US State Department spokesman PJ Crowley welcomed the news. Having been released in Egypt today, it's good to see Ghanim back online. Ghanim's experience encapsulates the nature of these protests, led by the people but driven by technology, a technology that seems to have caught the government off guard. Imran Khan, Al Jazeera.
So there's Tahrir Square, Liberation Square, looking like, as I said before, almost a tent city now. People really settling in. Hodar Abdel Hamid, our correspondent earlier, saying that it's the second phase after the violence and the unrest. Now there's a long haul to try to unseat Hosni Mubarak. Around them, though, life does have to go on, of course. Economy has to come back to life again, an economy which for a week, if not more, was paralysed with things like banks and markets closed. On the line now from Cairo is Tariq Salim, who is a professor of economics at the American University in Cairo. Professor, thank you for your time. How would you describe Cairo now as far as economics and commerce goes? Is it starting to come back to life?
Well, I believe that it is gradually coming to life. However, there is some significant time to rebound.
What do you think about damage done over the last few days?
I think the damage done is basically people have gone to the streets and protested against previous policies, although many people think that political unrest and political repression and so forth. But I strongly believe that part of this unrest is due to misaligned economic policies in the past 30 years.
But the thing is, does the government acknowledge that, do you think? I've spoken to other people about this who've said, yes, there was no trickle down. There was wealth, but no one got to see it. Do you think the government really acknowledged that as a problem?
I think they're beginning to acknowledge that. However, we need radical shifts in policies. We need transformational economic policies.
Like what? Like what sort of thing?
For example, we need what I call an index minimum wage that the society has been calling for so long to try to redistribute income away from the concentrated wealth of the rich getting richer, poor getting poorer. Index minimum wage, especially indexed by education level. So, for example, you can have, let's say, around £1,000 for those who have bachelor degree, £800 for high school diplomas, and so forth. That's a needed policy. In addition to that, we need inflation targeting. And this has to be done through investment entry, domestic entrepreneurship, and not only corporate social responsibility, which has been in the past mainly advertising for businesses, but rather shared economic value, shared social value, shared employment, shared wealth for the masses.
Okay,
and,
so if that's the... sorry, I'll just interrupt you there, because what you've given us very good detail there on the internal side of things. I wonder about external as well. Would you be concerned about the damage that's been done to Egypt's reputation as a business and economic hub?
I think externally the most critical aspect in the short term would be exports, the reduction in exports and trade. And I think that we have to rebuild the economy in terms of Egypt's trade position to be more competitive. We have to concentrate on domestic investment in strategic sectors that have a competitive edge or comparative advantage to other nations, rather than opening up investments in all sectors simultaneously without looking at long-term economic welfare.
Tariq Selim joining us on the line from the American University in Cairo. He is a professor of economics. Thank you for your thoughts. And something else has happened today in the economic world. 15% pay rise for government employees was announced today by the Egyptian cabinet today as well. So some change there as well as we overlook Liberation Square in Cairo. Plenty more ahead on this news hour, of course. We'll look at perhaps a model democracy, why some are touting Turkey's secular system as an example for the region. And Charles Taylor, on trial, the former Liberian president's lawyer storms out of proceedings. Of course, what happened before Egypt was Tunisia, and politicians there have voted to give the country's interim president more emergency powers. He can now rule by decree and sidestep parliament. The unprecedented move came as the main ruling party, the RCD, was suspended from all political activity. Nazanin Mashiri with the story from Tunis.
Democracy Tunisian style. Protesters try to stop politicians entering parliament. They're activists and lawyers who suffered under Ben Ali. And now they want this institution dissolved and the old faces of the regime out.
These nominated member of parliament are part of this regime, and we do not like them, and we do not accept them.
And inside Tunisia's parliament, scenes this country could only have dreamt of. Opposition politicians vent their anger at the RCD. The former ruling party was suspended on Sunday, but their members of parliament have retained their seats for now at least. And there were more big changes. An emergency vote was passed which gives extra powers to the interim president. So crucially, an election date can now be decided. Tunisia's Prime Minister told me it's an important step.
We will be able to fulfill our responsibilities, engage in a democratic path, and ensure human rights and fundamental liberties, as well as move our country forward.
What the Prime Minister, Mohamed Ghannouchi, is trying to do is unite Parliament and also the country behind this interim government. He says it's the only way not only to solve the economic situation, but also to bring back security to the streets. There's still frustration here. These protesters blame the police for the deaths of 3 demonstrators in the past few days. Weeks on from the Jasmine Revolution that brought about a dictator's downfall, violence and tension still remain. Nazanin Mashiri, Al Jazeera, Tunis.
Just another note on Tunisia. France's foreign minister is facing calls to resign after taking a holiday in Tunisia in late December during the country's uprising. Michelle Alliot-Marie has also admitted using a Tunisian businessman's private jet several times during her stay. She says she regrets taking that vacation, but she is refusing to stand down. The defence lawyer for former Liberian President Charles Taylor has walked out of the United Nations-backed Special Court for Sierra Leone in protest at the proceedings. Taylor faces 11 charges of war crimes and crimes against humanity. Prosecutors at The Hague say Taylor used terror tactics to secure control of diamond mines in Sierra Leone. He denies all those charges, though, including using child soldiers in wars which killed 250,000 people in West Africa. So southern Sudan's waking up to the prospect of becoming the world's newest nation. Official results confirmed almost 99% of voters in favour of splitting from the north. Independence will come into effect in July, but as Haru Matasa reports from Juba, concerns remain already about the future.
Euphoria as people get confirmation that southern Sudan will become the world's newest nation. Many have waited years for independence. As expected, the number of those who voted for secession was overwhelming.
Those who voted for secession, 98.83% of the total valid votes.
President Omar al-Bashir accepted the final results, allaying fears of some he would not let the South go peacefully.
We accept the results and we will not question them. Absolutely. We respect the Southerners' rights to choose what they want.
And people here seem confident officials in southern Sudan will take the new country in the right direction.
They have the abilities and the capacity to lead the country.